All right. Oh wait, that's I don't want that one. Wait, that would have been awkward. That would have been awkward. I can't record that. YouTube would get mad at me. That would be unacceptable. Oh shoot. White dot. That good thing. There, all fixed. Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday. Hopefully, honestly, I think we'll be able to finish this today. I have some ideas. I have to remember one or two things. Uh, that know what. First off, I know what I'm doing, and two, that I have an idea and I want to try to execute, see how it'll turn out. Without further ado, now, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, further ado. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, Isaac MCCanary. I'm going to work on our boy. Girl, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. No. The nature of this creature. What we're gonna try is I want to add some red. Well, I want to try a couple of different colors, but I want to add a red. I want to add some kind of red to this. I don't know how. I kind of like the idea of it being maybe the more maroon, but necessarily want it to be the same color as my shirt is the thing. And I want to try something here. Oh, that's right. I want to add a line across. Yeah, I either want. Yeah, no, I want it that way. Red line here. We go back. Add a white line. Don't mind him. He's been sassy all day. Don't listen to him. He's been sassy all day. He's kind of been a pill recently. I hope he's doing okay. I don't know what my cat's deal is. He's been a little bit more obnoxious than usual. Just been very, very, very needy. I don't hold that against him. He's a cat. He's a cat. He's gonna do that. Problem is how much it's been recently. It's been a lot, actually. Hope he's okay. Been weird. Been a little bit weird recently with kid. It's been very anxious. Probably just some separation anxiety because he's a big baby. Hope it is. We're gonna do that, and then maybe take a black line. This. Now watch this. Now check this out. Hopefully today we'll finish Dinosaurs. Lorinosaurus. 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 It's very hard to say. Just following the classic dinosaur. Just the classic inability to pronounce a dinosaur's name. Kind of naming structure. Yes, that. No, I don't want that. I want whatever that. There, I want that. Yes. I was kind of messing with this last time, and I wasn't quite sure where to take it. And just now, I was like, I don't know what necessarily spurred the thought on to be like, oh, a red line. I was just needing something to give it a little bit more gift. Hmm. That nope. Like this. Nope. Or like that. One of the things I'm trying to develop a little bit more is just being able to really like solidly just add medium. Find that that is one of the hardest things to do is to be able to learn how to just yeah, I'll just place the line exactly where I need it. Oh, ooh. Oh, made a minute. I made an error here, but we'll work with it. We'll do something like that, and then across the back. Up, 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 up. Light. What? Screamy boy wants to scream. Have to scream about everything. Keeps on wanting to try to get behind my computer again. Even though I blocked it. Now I've physically tried to block it. And he's like even more incessant. I'm like, what the heck, buddy? What the heck? Oh, oh. Very weird. Alright. Ooh, I do like that red line though. That worked. I need to do a little bit more work here, I think, but it does work quite well. I want this red line. Like right here. Yeah, I wanted to follow the tail a little bit better. A little bit crooked. Really, I just want to focus more on trying to utilize getting a little bit more play with certain parts of the medium. I also just like have been wanting to mess more with the patterning. That's something I've been trying to experiment with a little bit more. I also want to kind of figure out what exactly I want to do with the rest of this, which is the hard part for me, honestly. Want And I've been trying to do a lot more solid colors for stuff like this. I get a really solid base, get the pattern and everything down, and then we'll do shading and stuff afterwards. It's just a process that I've found works pretty well. It works pretty well, especially with kind of my style. What I need to do more is stuff like this. So I already have that guideline, right? So I'm just going to go back over it again, the same color. Reason why is that is going to allow me to just repaint back over that. So now, that kind of like that. Then I just have to fill that in. I mean, one of the things I need to use more is I need to use the paint bucket more. The paint bucket could save a shit ton of time. Especially when you're using vectors like I do a lot these days. If you're using a lot of vectors and you use the paint bucket, you'll fill things way faster, which is really, really nice. Um, which I've only like kind of recently started getting into anyways. It's not something I'm super familiar with. It's not something I've done a lot of, so to definitely some red here. Might make that white a little bit bigger. Want that. Definitely go along the brow like that. Maybe down the nose too. Hold on. Not like that. I do kind of like that. And I'm gonna try putting this up here a little bit. I want to just say I appreciate the recommendation. Honestly, if you ever want to get me to draw anything, just ask me to draw a dinosaur or something I really have a deep-seated interest in. Like, I just really like drawing dinosaurs anyways. Really gonna be hard for me. It's really gonna be hard to be like, to get me to feel like, hey, draw this thing. It's a dinosaur. And me go, maybe not that. Just really like drawing dinosaurs. Also, I just noticed that the music was a little loud. My bad. Uh-oh. Wrong red. Ah, gee. Did I use the wrong red? No. Right red. No, I used the right red. Huh. It's always weird how stuff like that influences other parts of a piece. I never understand quite how it works, actually. Something like that. Well, that'll work. I really do like that coloration. Looks good. Sometimes when I'm kind of getting in the mindset of is being like, if I decide to make, if I decide to layer everything down, I know of ways to be able to make micro changes, but largely speaking, they're supposed to be changes that I am now like, nope, that's what I wanted there. Which is really difficult. It's really easy, well, relatively speaking, it's really easy to just be like, nah, this will be fine. It's like, made a change there. You could have probably done it different there. Which is always the tough part, at least for me, is to be like, how do you consistently make it so that way piece is doing what you want it to? It's tough. It's very, very difficult. Yeah, that looks good. Trying to see the red line needs to actually be bigger here. Since it's technically kind of coming back and out. Part needs to widen a little bit, so slightly. Kind of like that. White. Maybe a little bit more. Try not to overpower it. Trying to use my brain. I will admit, brain might be a little bit. Brain might be a little bit sleepy. I wouldn't even say it's sleepy. Kind of cat was bugging me. He's calmed down. Usually, whenever my cat is like losing his gourd, it kind of puts me a little bit on edge. I worry about the boy if he drives me crazy. Been kind of inconsolable recently. Not know why. I think that's what bugs me so much is that it's like, I don't know, bud. Doing everything I can, I promise. This is really silly. I now have to go take this white line. This is why it's important. If you're not ready, not try. If you're not prepared, you have to redraw something. Or if you're not prepared to make a firm decision, I guess, make it permanent. It's difficult. Sometimes it's also difficult from the opposite perspective to be like, sometimes you just got to make a choice. There are no right choices. Well, there are no wrong choices. I think that's what I meant to say. Backwards. That's much better. And then what I want to do is I want some of this brown tail. This. What? Oh. Oh, okay. I for some reason thought that that went that way. Not in fact that way. Now I should just be able to do one line right across. Yeah, well, almost. Really, I want to be able to do like that. It is the question. For me, how much pigment do I want to actually add, which can be tough. There we go. Love my big hand. Love my boy with big hands. Has big hands to give big hugs. still hope I got the proportions on those hands correct. I feel like I really tried to match what they were in the example I was using. I was looking at just a reconstructed skeleton, a full reconstructed skeleton of what I would believe was the original, what they call the hollow type, which is the preliminarily described specimen of this dinosaur, which was young, was they call it a subadult baby. It was a baby. Huh. I mean, I'm gonna have to fix that. That's gonna bug me, but I think that's how that works. How did that happen? Oh, that's probably how. Okay. Huh. Hmm. First off, some white there. Now I need to. This is the tough part with me. Oh boy. We'll do something like this. Need to actually. I'll need to go back through and get that fixed. By that. That. Yeah, it's better. What's weird is it is much more difficult, at least for me, to try to like eraser it out than it is to just make a line like that. Interesting. I don't know why. I have no idea. You like that? It looks good. Honestly, today I think the vibe is just that I chill. I don't know why. Kind of sitting, just being like a little bit just a little bit brain dead, just a little bit, not too much. I don't know why. Like happened right at the last second, right when I started too. Because today I've been. I wouldn't say there's anything that like has happened. I don't know what happened. My brain has just decided to be devoid of anything weird to think about. Which I feel bad because it means it feels like I don't have anything to talk about, which is not necessarily true. Absolutely not. There's always stuff on my mind right now. I don't know where this is coming from. Whew. The question is, do I want to add anything there? I don't think so. I don't think I want to add anything there. It might be good to start adding like mid-tone stuff. We'll see. Down now. Go ahead and merge all my stuff now. There. Sometimes the best thing to do is to merge down and be like, did it. You don't have to do anything else with it. Because honestly, if I'm not careful, I will sometimes just be like, but I could have done something different, but I could have added more. And it's like, no, you need to be done with it. You need to look at it and say, I don't need to add more. Times. Whatever that is. What are me here? Why would it do that? That is a weird thing about Fresco that I still don't know why it happens, but sometimes Fresco will just be like, we're gonna grab it for you. I'm like, why? It was kind of being a little bit slow. I didn't want to grab anything necessarily. Like, I got it. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell. I want you to get it though. It's not that big of a deal. It's just weird that it does it. I have no idea what causes it still. I'm going to fight my cat. Probably all night. And then this is, yeah, this is gonna be good. I want it to be mostly on the top. That-ish? Yeah, because I want the like palm side to be a little bit lighter, but I want the actual forearm to be darker. Yeah, the colors on that are looking really, really nice, actually. Oh, hell yeah. And mainly I'm just looking to try to keep things consistently sized and shaped, especially with the pattern in mind. Something like this. Ooh. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, beads. I just noticed something. Made a mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake per se, but I did accidentally cite something. Okay. Break this down a little bit. I need to try to add something in that I missed. Finer. Perfect. Like that. A little bit more on this side. Now, go back to that dark brown. Oop. Another dark. And this is where stuff like this gets difficult for me. I need to do a little bit of adjustment on some stuff. That should be enough. That should be enough. Pretty happy with that coloration, too. I don't think there's really much more I can do with it. I like the red. The red helps quite a bit. It just needed something with a little bit more saturation in it. It needed a little bit more oomph. I was kind of struggling to figure that out. I was kind of struggling to figure out where to put that little bit of saturation. But it's hard for me to really think what more I need to do for this case. So I think we're good on that. Now. Yeah. Take soft round opacity. Got water in your ear from the shower. Oh, those are the worst. But you want to know what? Want to know what the best feeling actually is after that happens? Is when it falls out of your ear. You ever have that feeling where it falls out of your ear and you're just like, oh, release, sweet release. That. I love that stuff. Welcome, Silos. Welcome, Silos. I need to go to half. I think I add a little bit too much coloration stuff. Hmm. Actually, not a bad color act. I'm trying to find a good medium point. What I'm trying to do, part of what I'm struggling with is exactly what kind of medium I'm going for with this. So I need to start adding some form of like kind of like shading, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about doing. Found it. I think I found something I'm happy with. At least for a start. This will be at least a start. Or like that, maybe? And I really wanted to try to find that a color in there that would start adding a little bit more depth without just being a pure black. Seems like the reds are going to be really good for the shadows here. But that doesn't mean I get lazy necessarily. Gotta be very conscientious. How I use different parts of this. It's definitely what I want. It's definitely what I want because it's adding a little bit more coloration where I need it to be. Then, flip side, I want to use soft yellow. Trying to much more carefully build out certain kinds of tones. Again, I think sometimes I have a bad habit not really doing my best at that kind of thing, which is fine. Could always pop out the color wheel. Probably. In I don't know. That way. I want one up like that. That? I think I want to be able to add a little bit at a time anyways. That way I'm not necessarily overpowering anything. Hmm. I'm trying to just essentially I'm trying to texture. It's still a little bit smooth. Still a little bit smooth for what I want him to be. Still trying to figure out the best way to handle that. So far, I'm just kind of like going with the flow on the shading. I think this ends up being like my lighting, anyways. This ends up just kind of being what my lighting turns out to be, which is fine. Just fine and good. I just wish that I could find a way to like add a little bit more texture to the backside. I feel like I was struggling with that a little bit. He looks good. He does look good. He's a little shiny. Mainly, I'm just trying to find ways to really incorporate a little bit more texture work in this. Is where I'm kind of struggling. Not 100% sure how I want to. Moment. Kind of trying things until it sticks. Just sometimes how it goes. You just gotta try different things until it finally just kind of does something you like. It does mean that you're spending a decent amount of time just kind of noodling. What does it mean to canoodle? I don't even know where I got it from. I'd say it's a word of my own invention, but oh, oh, fucking. Ain't that just the way with me? That should not be a surprise that I would be doing that. You are talking to the person who learned the word kinky, didn't know what it meant as a kid, and started using it because they thought it meant weird. I was told that it meant weird. After asking what it meant. Honestly, I need. Oh wait, no, I have software round opacity. Interesting. Just really high. What if I increase the size? That might help. Maybe not that much. Yes, but it's also not correct and not what you should tell somebody who's very young who is trying to words correctly. Otherwise, they end up using the word incorrectly in a very funny circumstance in a certain sense, but not necessarily in one that's good for a young person who doesn't realize that they're using a word wrong. No, wait. Huh? Huh? How did it... Huh? What do I have vector erasers equipped? How do I... How do I go back to my vector erasers? How do I go back to my other erasers? Because I don't want a vector eraser right now. I don't want a vector eraser right now. I want another eraser. Oh, it's because I'm on a vector layer. Whew! I was wondering. I was like, just trying to get better at using that eraser to up stuff like that, so that way it is dark fast. Amongst other things. And hydrate pod. Also, again, sorry if I'm weirdly just kind of like, I don't know, not been a bad day. Been a good day. It's actually been a really good day. I just suddenly crashed right at the very, very end, I think. It's been kind of happening a lot recently. I'm not going to mince too many words. I have been crashing a little bit recently. I don't know what it is. You mean I've been working? I don't feel like I've been working. I don't. I don't feel like I've been working too much. Wink. Uh, that wink was more of like a wink of I have reasons to feel like it's not overwork because if I can't overwork if don't worry about it. I'm not advanced enough to be able to make that kind of joke and make it feel like it's actually funny. Certain things have been weighing on my mind recently. Unfortunate. I want them to. Especially now, because actually in a lot of ways things are very, very good. They're very, very good. Very specific things are kind of frustratingly eh. The kind of like I don't want to think about that kind of thing right now. Not because it isn't like an important thing or not because it doesn't concern me. I just am like just give me a little bit of a brain. The short answer is it's just finance related. It's fine. You don't have to talk about it, and I don't have to think about it right now. I want to think about drawing dinosaurs. something like that. I'm really trying to just use both a combination of a lot less pressure and a lot more careful placement of where I put my lines. Make sure they actually go where I want them to. Also, rest in peps. I hope Jackson is okay. Jackson might be on hiatus again for the moment because his jobs won't give him a break to be able to actually have a life. I feel really, really bad about no buts. Like he is, out of a lot of my friends, really struggled with that on his own the most, in that he really wants to participate, um, and his jobs keep on destroying him. And I really hope that he's okay. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Um, he just got a recent job and was like, I can't. And I'm like, I get it. The thing that you're having to do is not. I'm not. I'm going to say I can't do it. And it's not even that jobs suck. Jobs just aren't good to people. I don't know if they've ever been good to people, but they're not definitely good to people right now. Um, because it's one thing to be like, man, my job sucks, and it's another to be like, wow, my job is completely disrupting my life. If anything, it's more I'm having my own issues with that actually with Twitch, so don't worry. Well, maybe do worry. I don't know. Maybe you do worry. I would appreciate it. Yes. So I wouldn't know what you should worry about. I'm fine. Maybe a little bit worn out. Like I said, if anything, it's just more of my cat. My cat was like at the beginning of the stream losing his mind. So I was like having to deal with that, and that's just more stuff to mess with me. That was really what was like that started the tipping where I was like, oh, didn't you sometimes have one of those moments where you realize that you're maybe a little more tired than you thought you were. Hmm. White blackpilling moment. We need jobs that make us feel like it's worth working them. That's my hot take. But I don't think anybody's in an argument with that. Because my friend should not be having to drive 3 hours a day to and from work to make a living wage, regardless of how much he's paid. Nobody should have to do that. No buts. Not fair to him. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. He'd slightly disagree, but you're right. He's not. What I'm saying, man, everything is kind of busted right now. I think everybody agrees that it's kind of busted right now. Oh, okay. I understand. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, man. We have the rules that we do not because we're necessarily apolitical here, especially now. Uh, just know we're trying to get away from it as much as possible. Um, it's the only reason why I'm like, I don't really like to talk about that here, and also because, unfortunately, it's dangerous. Ugh, sucks too. Sucks. It all sucks. It's all bad. I don't know what this mood is. I don't know what this. Oh, 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 oh! I have an idea. We'll go down to 5. That. Mainly, I just want the guys to kind of like be a little bit more vibrant. Just give them a little bit more coloration. Kind of like that. Ooh. I do like the coloration I've got there in those eyes. That's the kind of stuff I like to do when it comes to my texturing, is stuff like this. Yeah, I like that. Need to get probably a little bit better at paying attention. I think I got the head a little bit wonky shaped, sized. I didn't quite get the eyes as symmetrical as I probably could have. Eh, probably. Probably. There's nobody tattles on me. It's true. There's at least some. You gotta at least be a little bit accurate to it, because flip side, you can't just make everything as unsymmetrical as possible, or else everything will look floppy and wonky and weird. Just trying to add. Hold on. There we go. That's all I was trying. Cover a little bit. Add my favorite measurement of food, a scotch. Concept of the scotch still kind of cracks me up. The fact that the scotch is a real amount of measurement is very silly to me. Doesn't feel like a real treated like. Yeah, I like that. Just want to add a little bit. That's why I've like really tried to hone in on a lot more of not really overworking the anything on this. I try to add just a little bit at a time now. Make it off. Want it to be that, maybe? Trying to add like a little bit of a crease. It's fine. He's not tired. Dinosaurs don't get tired. Show me scientific proof that dinosaurs get tired. Very stupid. Well, I know the VOD title now. Here you could get it in photographic evidence. Dinosaurs don't get tired. To make this a little bit this and this to go all that way. Something like that, maybe. Pull out. Ross, I'm learning something from you. It's a really good technique, actually. He does know some good art technique. He does. Man did know how to paint. It's high. No, it's sleepy. That's the thing, right? Like high, his eyes aren't red. Like I feel like it's is that a really is that a high thing? I thought high things were just the eyes getting all bloodshot, but his eyes aren't bloodshot. It's got the sleepy bags. I would call them sleepy bags. Hmm. How do I handle that? I mean, I might look into blending more. I haven't done very much blending. Eh, I'm not in love with it. Just kind of add a little bit of texture. Little bit more flavor to it. That's the thing. It's still a living guy. There's still a living guy. Tissues and stuff. Adding a little bit of red to stuff like that helps give it a little bit more flavor and a little bit more texture. Also making sure that I'm not adding too much, which can be a concern. Be careful. Wait. Kind of helps soften it a little bit. It's kind of like that. Anything that I've learned is that adding medium is just kind of about that, just that. Adding medium. You just gotta add a little bit at a time so it does the thing you want it to. It's always the hard part, I think. I think that's one of the hardest things is trying to get it to do something that you actually want it to. Okay, I'm awake now. I think I just needed to warm up. Oh, I forgot to do my. Wow, you dumb dumb. I said I was gonna do that more, and then I decided not to do that more. Oops. Still do my sketch, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I keep forgetting. I keep on forgetting. I keep on forgetting. Hmm. Huh. Add a little bit more there. Not a bit at a time. This is the tough part. He is like trying to figure out exactly how not to like overwork the piece. So I'm like really trying to be like, don't put too much. I want it to like have a little bit more feeling to it. This is the challenge of the render. How do you get the render to do actually want it to do? Well, answer, you keep trying until it does the things you want it to. Tougher answer. Lot. Lot of persistence. A lot of persistence. So the big idea I've found, a lot of rendering, is that you're building layers on top of each other a lot. You're not trying to erase the things underneath. You're trying to overlay on top of them, not completely mask them. Also, when you choose a color, you want it to really express that color. You want it to be popping as much as possible. Maybe I just need a bit of a chiller. Probably just need a bit of a chiller day. Feels that way, anyways. Out more. Also getting a little bit better tactile feeling for the lid. How do I want to keep going about stuff? Hurt. Not like that. Like adding little drops. Big bit at a time. Not adding too much. It's difficult. Very, very difficult, actually. Requires a lot of capacity to like. I'm not gonna over. I'm not gonna add more. Can be difficult. Like you don't want to just make a line. Please do that. You can't always do that, unfortunately. I would like to just be able to flop as much as possible. Not. Probably need to use a little bit more of a transparency. That way it could build on itself a little bit more. That way I'm not getting everything down too heavy, but super concerned with that so much. Maybe not the red. Got that. Trying to find something good to a little bit more saturation. I don't hate that actually. Real fine here. I need to go a little bit fine, more fine there, more there. Welcome to the render. Joyous stay. Ah! Ah! I don't hate rendering. Actually, I've really enjoyed rendering the last couple times I've done it. I just find that it is something that I still kind of struggle with. Mainly because, not because I've never done rendering before. It's weird. I feel like I got really into rendering in college, and then I got out of college and had a really tough time with art. I won't lie. I had a really, really tough time with art after college. Just really getting into it. I really struggled being able to keep up with a lot of the things that I practiced and learned. Don't know why. Got better. Got better. But it did leave kind of a lasting impression. A lot of stuff like this, where at least in college, it felt like I was making a lot of really good progress. Though I will say I've definitely gotten much, much more proficient at my work. Feel very good about my work too, as far as that's concerned. To reintroduce some of the undertones there. From keep it from overpowering the rest of the piece. I just really want to add a bit of flavor. Got a little bit more texture. Bright spots. Kind of give that really clearly like a knee feeling. Give it a knee feeling. I think I was able to accomplish there actually. That looks quite good. Trying to add a couple more wrinkles, or at least the impressions of stuff. As well as like blemishes and stuff. You want to know what? I need to just be more careful with adding certain kinds of details to like be like, is that actually a good spot for that? Add certain things. Sometimes I'm really bad about just putting stuff down because I'm like, I wanted something there. Thinking through your art is one of the hardest things to do. It really is. Don't let any no no one no one say otherwise. Through your art is incredibly difficult. A lot of skill and practice to be able to get to a place where you're able to confidently make certain kinds of decisions because it's difficult. It doesn't help that there's a billion ways to do everything when it comes to art or illustration, whatever it is. There we go. Just trying to add a little bit more wrinklage. Boy, a little bit more wrinkly. Add some of that. Some of that. That looks good. I like how that's working into the render. It's good. Let's just try very light. Not trying to wash everything out is the problem. Trying to make that a little lighter. Lighter. Cut down that a little bit and behind it. It's the tail. I like that. Oh my god. Being indecisive. Being indecisive. Now, now, excuse me. Not click off that. The goal is not to mute that out necessarily. Add a couple full, kind of like that. Kind of like that. Then you have like a little bit more rippling of the flesh. Rippling of the flesh. Rippling of the flesh would also probably be a very good VOD title. I do think I'm making really good progress, and the nice thing is I kind of get done early today, based on the way that I'm doing this. So yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm high. I think it does not help that recently I've been subjected to a lot of material about and moods and attitudes about very I'm not gonna say like, well, I mean, just to put it frankly, when I rewatched Barbie yesterday with friends, just had a lot of topics on my brain recently. And then we watched that. Great movie, by the way. Very funny, very entertaining, very important, good message. Still has some existential dread in there. The Barbie movie. It's actually becoming one of my favorite movies. It's really good. If you have not seen the Barbie movie, it is quite good. Highly recommend it, actually. It is very good. But we watched the Barbie movie, and then we were like, what do we want to do now? Because we were in a watching mood. And then my friends were like looking at things to watch, and then randomly they were just like, "Hey, Isaac, want to feel sad?" And I'm like, "I mean, you know who you're talking to?" Because the answer is not necessarily an equivocal yes, but it definitely ain't no. And then they were like, "Cool." And then we just watched the first two episodes of Frieren, which are very good, very good. I'll have to check out more. I am enjoying it. It is very somber. I like me a somber piece of medium. It's very, it's once again, things do a terrible job of giving you a good impression of what it's about because people love the memes. But unfortunately, anime memes are sketchy, to say the least. So let's just say there was a part of me that was like, are people freaking out about it? Or is it legitimate? Because nobody knows how to talk about anything. Just say some of the ways that, out of context, things be cherry picked will make you think, maybe I won't like this. Or at the very least, will make you think, I might not like it as a show. I ain't gonna clarify any farther. What's funny is I feel like the thing that made me the most like the was like people love the mimic joke, and the mimic joke is good. The mimic joke is good. Presentation wise, however, without context, very like when I saw it on just random media, I was just like, God damn it. Gross. They just made it look gross. In reality, it's actually like a really good bit. I like the mimic joke because it goes beyond the mimic. But then again, I didn't really engage much with the discourse, and there's nothing about it that made me outright go, I wouldn't like this necessarily. Just mainly the way people. I always am wary of popular anime, as you should be. Anyone should be when they're engaging with any form of media. Always be worried about the popular ones, because there's no guarantee that you're actually going to like it. Usually, what makes something popular has nothing to do with what makes it good. And yes, that too. People have no. People have never had any good way to engage with any piece of media, even if it's objective. Well, even if it is subjectively net positive impact on people in a moral or emotional way. It is subjective on a wide scale. People still don't know how to fucking talk about shit, and it drives me crazy. Which is why I find it kind of hard to talk about stuff. Which is why I really appreciate that, have my friends who we talk about stuff the way that we do. And then I'm glad that we can bring that energy here and be able to discuss things more here where we feel comfortable and open to be able to actually like talk about those things. And always the thing to make clear here and to remember if you've been you're a long time listener, you're always worried. Here's the thing that I am going to try to actually be more confident about is when we talk about something, we discuss something. It's because we want to share our insight on it. And it is actually to be said that it is less of a discussion. Chat, you can always be willing to chime in, but I might have to make it a point for myself to be like, this is not a platform to argue. And I've seen other channels do that, and it's a fair point. Twitch is not a platform to argue about anything. The reason why I bring that up is I have made a mistake before, which I did argue with chat. Though to be fair, I haven't seen them in a while, and I don't kind of mind because chat, you shouldn't be arguing with me. Chat, don't argue with the streamer, not because they're always right. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy when anyone is arguing. I don't care what anyone says. You can claim you like arguing, and I would say you're full of bullshit. I don't think anyone likes arguing. I certainly don't. Which, that is why, if you don't agree with an opinion here, that's fine. Totally acceptable. That's the point. To a certain extent, discussion is not about changing people's minds, it's about discussing. And this is an inefficient platform to do it on, anyways. Can't really do it. And on top of that, oftentimes people think that discussion, what they think discussion is not as conducive as they think that it is, if that makes sense. And then on top of that, if you ask a question but don't get the answer you want, that's not on me. Has happened to me before too. Because then, why did you ask the question? You want to know the age-old adage of no dumb questions? Uh, no dumb questions here, but no guarantees on answers either. Like, don't be mad at an answer that we give, whether it's earnest or a joke. Just weird because you ask me something about dinosaurs, or you ask me about like the scientific process, or something like why the way it is the way it is. I'll give an answer, and then if you're like, well, why it doesn't make sense why it's that way, and then I try to explain it, and nothing goes anywhere, then it's like, well, thanks for wasting my time. The reason I bring that up is it's just it's happened, and it's a bummer. It's like a huge bummer. And even the person it was involved with, like, was like, it's only a bummer because of this. It's like, no, no, no. One of the things that I know I am quite good at is whether or not I'm always correct, whether I know something off the top of my head. It's always up for debate. Can I find something? Can I find information? Absolutely. Finding information is actually something I'm really proficient at. And I'm damn proud of it. Just come from me. The reason why I say that is because I was once, I don't think I'm quite this bad anymore, but I was infamous at one point for being the friend that my friends, that I would ask a question and then they would send me a link of Google this, where it was like, you put the prompt in and then it'll type it out in for the person and then Google search it for them. Which, hey, fair enough. I need. Right now, I'm just trying to add a little bit of. Just more something. Just give it a little bit more spice. I don't know when or where I found this track, by the way. I've just always found it pleasantly ambient. No idea where I found it from. Appeared on my feed one day. A lost puppy. Many things do. YouTube. When it comes to YouTube these days, it's just kind of like something that pops up and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And then you're like, cool, I guess. Thanks, I guess. Not like even in a bad way. It's just like, I guess I listen to this now. I guess I listen to this now. That is how I typically find music. And I'm really just trying to add a little bit of pigment at a time. Helps give it kind of a full look. Helps build a little bit. And really, I'm just trying to add a little bit more texture to everything. Oh god, I'm really doing that. Yeah, I am. It works. Boy, it does work. Never like. Am I gonna stipple this whole thing? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Actually, let's see. If I end up stippling the whole thing, I might lose my mind, but especially with this, because it's less about like the thing that works with stippling is a pretty like immediate dot. Like stippling, I should, if I really want to stipple something, I should be using like the vector with one, really get in there. Except one might be too small, actually. One might actually be too small. I have to go 2, 3. Yeah. Really wanted to stipple like crazy. Something like this. Oh no. Oh no, I like the idea too much. That's if I want a lid, just like a lid. I don't know if I'm gonna that much. On the eye, maybe around the eyes. Just around the eye, maybe just a little around the eye. Oh god, I'm not gonna stipple this whole thing. I'm not gonna do it. If I did that, I would lose my mind. It would go cuckoo crazy. It does look. This is. Stippling's a trap. Stippling's a trap. If I start doing stippling, I'll lose my fucking whole shit. Because it looks good until you have to start doing it. And it looks good the whole way. And it makes you want to tear your teeth out of your head. But you're like, it looks so good. And you're like, it does look good, but I'm losing my whole shit. Uh. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll limit it. Fresco crashed. Fresco crashed. Not expecting that. I was like, that's weird. Nothing's happening. That's odd. Nothing's working. Figured out why. Because it crashed. Good news is, though, making really good time. Bad news is, though, Fresco didn't reopen. There you go, Fresco. I do think. Yeah, no shit. I like that it just now was like, oh yeah, it crashed. Yeah, no. No shit, you crashed. No stippling. Call it as a sign. I'm gonna call it as a sign to not stipple. I'll add it in very select places. Definitely do not want to stipple this whole thing. Or else you'll hear me just complain the entire time about having to stipple. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. You say you want it? No, you don't. Because what you're trying to say is you want the stippling. That sure. You want the stippling. You don't want me to be also a complete baby about it the entire time. really like how that looks on the tail. Actually, that came out good. But yeah, Furin is pretty good. And the thing is that I've actually really liked about Furin is that um the most immediate thing that comes to mind as a comparison, because it got a lot of me, I didn't get a lot. It got some attention that I am fine saying that the show was not for me, but you enjoyed it. That's perfectly fine and adequate. It just was not what I was looking for because I have a very, very, very high I don't know if expectation is the right term, but very high kind of standard for the kind of writing that the show was trying to go for. Not Fearin. Fearin has been nailing it so far, actually. I think the biggest thing that it does well is it is a show that's just meant to be kind of melancholic. And it really handles that really well and really maturely. Like, the show, at least based on the first two episodes, is just very much about processing something that's pretty difficult to wrap your head around, generally speaking. And it does so in a way that isn't in the face of the viewer, is very just like just very subdued. It's very slow and it's very gentle. That's the thing. I really like how gentle the actual show is with a lot of the context to the things that it is covering. That is something that is really good about Fearin. Um, Gentle is what I would describe it as. The one that comes to mind in comparison, though, that I like to always a little poke fun at as someone really trying really hard to make me cry is Violet Evergarden. If you like Violet Evergarden, that's fine. It's pretty okay for my writing taste. The reason why is because that kind of topic, the way that they're handling it, is attempting to do what Furin is doing, but with a little less maturity, which is fine. It's why I like to also like baby it a little bit and be like, they really want to make you cry because they really want to make you care, and you can tell the writer wants to, but for me doesn't really know how to get there, which is the biggest issue I have with Violet Evergarden. It doesn't even have anything to do with her age. That's a plot inconsistency at worst. That's just anime bullshit. I don't give a shit that she's 16. Um, so much of the issue I take with Violet Evergarden, though, is that it kind of fundamentally mishandles an element of the kind of trauma it's going into. Um, and it comes off as just kind of blunt. It comes off as blunt. Whereas Fearin actually does a really good job, just from the two episodes I've seen, that Fearin is not that simple. She's not. She isn't just sad for no reason, and she isn't just dealing with immortality. I think it is one thing to say that is kind of what was pitched to me, and I think a little bit more to like expound on that is I don't even think it's as simple as immortality, because I don't think it's ever implied that elves in every piece of fantasy media are immortal. Just they live a really fucking long time and compared to pretty much any other race. They're not necessarily immortal. Maybe Tolkien's are. They might be immortal. I think. I really actually don't know. I think they just live a long fucking time. They just have very long lifespans, and that's all that Firin is trying to explore. They are ageless. Okay, I was not sure on that. And who knows? Maybe Firin is as well. But that's like actually something it goes into that I think it handles in a more mature way. Is just that it bothers her. Like it's not that she thinks something's wrong with her or that she struggles with processing it because she's never thought about it before. It's just something she has a constant interaction with. And they put that in perspective really well, that she, even at this point, knows it and feels bad when she forgets. Like, you get a real sense that she knows that that's something she deals with all the time, even when the context when the show starts. And even then, she's like, God, I fucking did it again almost, right? Like, I want to get better about that. Um, and I don't know in the context of the show, like, how old she is starting, but you still get the sense that, like, obviously by the second episode, she's already way older than almost every other character in the show. Like, that's just without a doubt. And the way that the show handles the passage of time is particularly interesting. I think it does a really good job of showing how, stylistically speaking, time passes in a subtly different way for her than it does for other people. And then people talk about time in a very specific way. That's like, just gets you kind of in that headspace of, yeah, yeah, that's just kind of how time is, isn't it? It just keeps going for all of us. Doesn't matter. Goes different paces for everyone, but it just keeps going. Um, so all that to say, in comparison to Violet Evergarden, which got really popular as the Shad show of the season, Fearin is not just sad. For me, good writing that is emotional is not just sad. It is contemplative, not just sad. Another example of this that Sean and I actually watched recently was a movie called Ad Astra. Brad Pitt does great because Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. That is again another example of a movie that wants to be contemplative, wants to be like really like moody, but doesn't know how to needle into like a core human thing beyond the superficial. Like they touch on real human problems in a very superficial way. And that is the connection between that and Violet Evergarden that I want to make, is that it is not that the two pieces of media don't understand moody and emotional things, they do not connect on them beyond a very superficial presentation. And I just don't like that. I just don't like it. I think you need more. I need more to be able to really get me to chew on that kind of contemplative writing, which Fearin succeeds on, at least again, as far as I have seen. I've only seen a very minimal amount. I could hate it in the next 3 episodes, but the first 2 episodes were fucking great. It's really good. Yeah. I don't think I would describe Fearin as sad either. That's why I would say it is melancholic. It is contemplative. It's not sad. It's also got moments of levity. That's an important thing, is like it has very real moments of levity. I think they do a good job of handling the mimic bit because the mimic bit goes beyond the mimic. That's just Fearin's a little bit clumsy. She's just kind of a clumsy person. There's a really nice bit, like the second episode, I believe, where she's just stuck under a pile of books. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute and funny. Like that's a pretty good bit. Like she's not. She's. It's funny. We were watching it, and like that guy like pointed out, and I like chuckled at it or made a joke, and you know, Aaron was like, well, so everybody's got to have a hobby, and I was like, those are called flaws. Yeah, she is a clumsy person who's a bit of a nerd. Just like a lot of us out here. It's just like me and all my friends are dying. No, they're not. Not yet. I hope not. God, I hope not. But for real, like, I think that is something that the show does really well. It's also just really charming. Got a lot of charm to it. Which, charm factor, huge selling point for me on any given piece of media. If it is just blatantly really charming, that can sell me a lot on a piece of media. And Firen has a lot of charm. Quite literally, the character has a lot of charm. She's a very charming person. They also do something really cool in the first episode, with because like I saw the Himmel memes, and of course everybody's like, oh, this whole show's about how remembering Himmel the hero, and like I don't have the context for this, so I don't care. When in reality, the show, and probably by extension the manga, if it's based on a manga, which I assume it's based on a manga, I feel like I've seen manga for it. But, uh, I mean, I know how it goes. Everything's based on all Japanese media is based on a manga. It all goes back to manga. Um, but one of the things that I really appreciated was its willingness to really swing hard in that first episode. It does not pull a punch. Um, I like the way that it starts with, being about them coming back from this big grand adventure. You see Himmel at essentially his prime as a young person, and the next time you see him, he is different. That is really kind of good, cool writing that they really just swing with the whole punch to really get you in the perspective of like, oh shit, they didn't they really want to make it clear what this is about. It's the passage of time. It's about the passage of time. How it's kind of scary and can't stop it. I think that's what makes Fearin also work very well as a character, and why it kind of diverts away from just being about dealing with immortality and more about just dealing with the passage of time as a whole. Because um, another time that I've seen this done not as well, I will admit, but I still like what it does with it. It's not done as well though. In It's Such a Beautiful Day, I think is what it's called. It's Such a Beautiful Day. It's such a beautiful day. Yes, it is called It's Such a Beautiful Day. There, without spoiling too much, the ending sequence feels very jarring. But it's very similar in that like you follow the main character through time essentially to kind of seemingly contradict the climax of the movie or what seems like the conclusion of the movie, but I don't really dislike it. And the reason why is actually because a lot of it is to like put in contrast, like about like how little time the main character has in the setting, what it would have been like if he had all the time in the world, essentially, is what I get out of that ending. Um, it's not necessarily better. It's not necessarily better, but you're not supposed to like feel like, to me it's not like also just supposed to be a bummer. I think it's just supposed to be a point of uh of contrast, to be like, it's novel to be like, wow, really sucks that the main character seemingly just had his clock run out way sooner than he deserved. Um, but the flip side is well, clock does run out for everyone no matter what, and if it didn't, it's gonna run out no matter what you do. So, highly recommend that movie with an asterisk, actually. I would say, highly recommend that movie once. I watched it twice. It's very, very tough. It's about a very tough topic, but it's very, very good. Um, Don Hertzfeld is still probably one of my biggest inspirations. Certainly, we're gonna look at like again through the list of like very specific inspirations to which now Mr. Ross has hit that list as well. He's absolutely an inspiration to this channel, both as an artist and as somebody who puts on commentary based entertainment. Uh, Don Hertzfeld is very much. What's funny is he got his fame as the funny cartoon guy on YouTube, but I think there's something kind of beautiful and kind of magical about the fact that Don Hertzfeld resonated with me and probably a lot of other people because even when I watched it, there's something very evocative about rejected cartoons. There's something very evocative about it. And it's supposed to be. It's a piece of art. It's genuinely a piece of art. It's got a narrative. It's about something. It's not just a video of a bunch of funny cartoons. Though it is a video with some pretty funny cartoons in it. Um, uh, but so much of it is like still like thought provoking. Um, which is saying a lot because I feel like Dawn hit a really good period of YouTube internet to be able to capitalize on it before it all kind of went to shit. I haven't seen. He has a sequel to uh, World of Tomorrow. I need to still watch that actually. By the way, World of Tomorrow also quite good. If I was to, you can go on YouTube right now. If you haven't seen Don Hertzfeld, Rejected Cartoons, probably your first one because that's what everybody knows him as. Followed by, you would watch. This is where it's tough. You can now watch World of Tomorrow on YouTube, which is awesome, by the way. And if you haven't seen it, you should. Uh, and you can now watch. You can also watch, um, Meaning of Life. He has a video. He has an animation titled "The Meaning of Life," which is also quite good. I think that animation of his is one of my favorites of his. Like, I will routinely go back to it. It's that good. Um, he's quite good. I need to check to see if he's like been up to anything, if he has like any new projects in the pipeline or anything. I haven't heard anything from Don Hertzfeld in a while, so but he did good work. He does good work. Hope he's doing well. I hope he's living his best life. Then if you get a chance, I believe It's Such a Beautiful Day is available on Netflix. There are clips of it on his YouTube channel. I think he's broken up the entirety of It's Such a Beautiful Day into clipped segments on his channel. I think you could actually watch the entirety of it if you're willing to just watch it in a segmented form. But I do think it's on YouTube in its entirety on his page, on his like official stuff. No, no, no. No, I haven't checked. I should probably start shading me. Probably start shading me. Once again, another thing that I don't know how I found it, but I'm glad I did. Delta Dromius is just really good, man. YouTube was wild. Oh, I guess also in conclusion to my TED Talk about Fearin, definitely gonna check it out more. I hope it stays good. I get the impression that it does. This is not a that's not a me saying that because I think it's gonna get bad. It's a me being hopeful that it stays good because it's been good. Always remember that. When I say I hope it stays good, it's because anime is sketchy sometimes. So I have to give credit to Kirby for the best anime commercial I've ever seen. Holy shit. I loved the bit where they talked about how it wasn't cartoons for kids. It's so funny. Like people don't know that Family Guy and Simpsons have existed forever. It's just so weird. But then again, anime in general and Japanese culture in general has been getting more popular in the mainstream, so that's probably going to be changing. Wanted to get to necessarily. Just wanted to still live. There we go. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, Silos, of course, Super Earth. Is Super Earth still there? Is it gone? Did we lose it already? I haven't checked. Already? Okay, good. It's still there. And I have to assume the worst. It's pretty bad, actually. In a, like, good, compelling narrative way. This is what I have to give Arrowhead and Helldivers its due credit for being something I've wanted for a long time, which is a multiplayer game with a narrative. It's got an ongoing war narrative. Now, it isn't the one that I expected because, again, you can hear me say it again for the bazillionth time. I was kind of expecting grew up on good old Chrome Hounds. So I will say my expectations have been pleasantly exceeded because what I didn't realize is that what Helldivers does right is that it is a narrative over a very long period of time. And it has narrative beats that have hit in real time. It does mean that unfortunately some of those narrative beats means if you didn't get to see them, you didn't get to experience them, but I think their goal is to constantly be having set piece moments like that, so that way anytime that you can join for one, you'll get an experience out of it. The idea is less, don't worry about what you missed, look forward to what you will do next. Which it does suck. It does mean if you didn't get to see the invasion of Super Earth, you missed out on that. That's not to say that it'll never happen again. What it means though is the next time it happens, it'll also be unique. And I think that's interesting. That's an interesting design philosophy that is fundamentally different than things like Chrome Hounds, because Chrome Hounds worked on a repeating on a repeating cycle. And Chrome Hounds can only work on a repeating cycle. Chrome Hounds couldn't work on what Helldivers does, whereas Helldivers is like a really long-term community game of tabletop. Helldivers 1 was entirely player-driven? Oh, interesting. Were like players elected into offices at one point? Like, what do you mean by that? That could mean a lot of different things, in my opinion. No. Okay. That's why I was like, that sounds wrong. I don't think that would be correct, but I asked. But you ask things. You don't ask things because you know the answer. You ask things because you don't. Also, can I say I really like how this has come out. Also, really enjoyed doing this render. Been quite enjoyable. Oh, you could win or lose the Galactic War. Okay. There was no GM beyond who was controlling the enemies. Ah. So wait, did it have like an element of asymmetry? Like, did you have like player factions or something instead of everybody playing on the same side? That I didn't know. Okay, and I have no idea. Had to be there for it, man. Probably. Oh, you're good. Once again, I have been left to try to figure out what to do with the feet. Always get there, and I'm like, don't fucking. First off, it helps if I have color. I think I'll also make a make a layer there. Either do that make sense? So there was the players on Super Earth, and then I think either AI GM or a player GM, and they'd control the enemies, and it was totally possible to win or lose the Galactic War. The thing would get reset at the end. Yeah. I mean, that's how Chromehounds worked. And I don't know how long the Galactic Wars were, but I mean, this one's been going on for probably not as long as this. That's why I'm like they're doing a more long-term thing, which I think is interesting. But then again, they've been adding a lot of stuff. I wonder if they'll end it at some point, and then instead of it taking a year for these events to happen, like over again, they're going to have it take less time, or maybe have it take about a year to win or lose the war. Ross has been whispering. Mr. Ross has been whispering in my ear for some time. And well, and I'm gonna add some lovely little. You could tell I've been watching Mr. Ross. I feel like because I feel like this is not my usual work. Going to go. A little bit more tech. Clouds! Just that easy, guys. It's just that easy. Do I add a Bob Ross mountain? We'll see. I don't know if I will. Funny is I need to be a little bit more decisive. I'm going to do something like this. Then I need to go the other direction. Apply it. Correct way. Trying to do. We gonna Bob Ross it a little bit. We gonna Bob Ross these fucking mountains. That's right. I'm bringing this energy to the calmest, chillest vibe. Now, that. This is the thing. Is really trying to understand exactly how he got kinds of. Need to change the brush. I need to listen to, watch a little bit more of his work. Because it's not like it's impossible to understand either. What makes his work so good? I want it to be darker near the top and lightening near the bottom. And lightening near the bottom. Just so you know, I'm not a professional Bob artist. Like the professional Bob himself. No, I'm not. I'm not knowledgeable in the ways of the Bob. You apologize. Advanced. No, kinda. Wanna be. Honestly, I should do stuff like this more, just in general. Just in general. Because it'll get me better. It'll get me better at this kind of thing. Something I've really kind of struggled with. I want it to lighten near the bottom. They look okay. I think Bob Ross. I mean, he would be proud. I'm trying. Not bad. By no means, not bad. One of the big things he does really well that I'm trying to capture a little bit more, just my own work. So I kind of wish this had a little bit more. That he's very good at layering. He is very, very good at layering. It is one of the things he's really, really, really good at. Genuinely speaking. Honestly, that's not too I'm getting it. Hey, guys, remember the man wanted to just teach very simply. Very simply. Does it go? Joys of painting? I have never done this. I want to say this right now. I have never done a mountain like this. He gives very good insight on how to make mountains. Holy crap. I've never done a mountain before like this. Thank you. Rest in peace. Mr. Ross is saving my art. Mr. Ross saved my art. I appreciate you, Mr. Ross. I just made a mountain. Maybe the best mountain I've ever made in my life. This is a good mountain. This is a wonderful mountain I've made. Go a little bit thinner. Now I have to figure out how to apply this to dinosaurs. That's the next goal, is I figure out how I did this with dinosaurs. That's cool! Holy shit, that looks good! That looks really, really good. Like, no joke. That was also a lot of fun to paint. That was a lot of fun to draw and paint. I've never done that. I have never done that. Just want to make that clear. This right here, brand new to me. Never done that before. You can tell I've been watching. You can tell I've been watching Bob Ross. That's a Bob Ross mountain. Thank you, Bob Ross. You gave me a really good mountain. Really did. Want to make it no topped mountain or not? I don't think I do. Do what's in there? Some blues. This genuinely that we this made me really happy. This actually made me really. I need to do more painting. I need to do more painting. This proves that I need to do more painting. Right here proves that I need to do more painting. Absolutely. What a fun mountain. What a fun mountain I just made. I good. Oh, it feels good. He's a magician. He's the magician who teaches you how to do magic. Truly is. It's true. He teaches magic. He people like to meme and talk about like, man, Bob, how do you do it? You look away for 2 seconds, there's a mountain there, and it's like actually no. He knows what he's talking about. He knows exactly what he's talking about. If you really sit down and practice and have been learning how to draw, learn how to do art, and you just take the moment to listen and absorb what he has to say, he's not he's not saying nothing. He's explaining exactly how he does everything. And he's showing you how to do it because you can do it too. You can do it too. You can. This is the first time I've ever drawn a mountain like this. I want to know where I learned it from? Fucking Bob. From Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Sorry for swearing. Saw one peeking out there. Saw one more in there. Just thought I'd peek it out just a little bit. Paint some happy little trees. You're right. Next is the trees. Ooh, that's the hard part. Ooh, that's the hard part. Okay, see what to say. You gotta make some decisions. You gotta make some hard decisions. Here, be bigger. 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 Oh. Hey, we're doing this more. Hey, this kind of stuff, we're gonna do this more. Absolutely. No. Darker brown. Actually, no. Green. Blends better. What's funny is that gives grass. This is Jurassic. No grass. Can't be. Can't be. But it does have to be. You would say just doing a bravery test. And start. Oh, the light is hitting. Oh, the light is hitting. It was only a matter of time. I couldn't keep watching the man and not eventually try something like this. Actually, the thing to remember is we've got a lot more cycads, evergreens. Means a lot more needles. The thing that I notice is that he always starts dark and then adds like lights as he goes on, which is a good way to do that. He starts really, really dark. I kind of used a little bit of a mid-tone, but that's fine. This is just an amorphous blob. I was kind of wanting to do something with this area anyways. I really wanted to do something with it, so I'm glad I did. All right. Thing to remember here, to block it in, kind of simply like that. Effective says, actually, no. Effective says it needs to be start around. Go a little bit thinner. Go a little bit thinner. We're gonna add our tree. Add one little tree. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy. I don't think I can go crazy with this, in the sense of like, I'm not experiencing it, man. Ross, I'm not ready, man. It's nice though. It is nice adding a little tree. This is why before any time I do a drawing stream, I just need to watch stuff. I'm learning a lot. I genuinely am learning a lot. Like stuff I never considered. So much of it is not about doing it right per se, but just putting stuff where you actually Mr. Ross. We appreciate you. We appreciate the Mr. Ross here. Mr. Ross saved my art. Sometimes you just have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. One tree. Get one tree. Maybe a couple of. Here's the thing. I need to go real dark. Big thing to remember what kind of plants existed in Jurassic. Jurassic had a lot of ferns, had a lot of cycads. Well, we're doing it. Why does it help? Why does it help to say that? He does need a friend. This picture is filled with friends. Duh, that's why. Leave him there. One more. Again, the idea is to just start off with as much dark as you can, and then you build on top of it, which is really what I find impressive about his like process is that so much of it is starting so dark and then layering on top of it. What I've learned is that he starts with a lot more darks and then adds his highlights. It's just impressive. Burns. Bigger. One of the things I've just kind of like realized with it is that you gotta be willing to make decisions. You gotta be willing to make decisions. Again, a lot of it is just kind of like pressing stuff in to see what'll pop. Letting it do its thing. Hmm. Just gotta work on it. Be willing to trust your process. Trust the process. Trust. Just trust. Trust that you'll do it right. Who knows? Maybe you will. Here's the thing. The thing that happens is you do. I want to just add like a little bit, but I feel like I'm pushing my luck here a little bit. Some of this, but make it zippity. Then we're gonna do something similar. We're down there. Awesome. And honestly, this remove that for now. Doing a much better job of just to be cognizant at all. Applies. Which, that looks good. That looks really, really good, actually. Holy shit. I'm very happy with that. Try to, like, kind of keep some of this darker in the background. I like that. It's so cool. What a good effect. What a good effect I found. Again, thank you, Mr. Ross. Really, still kind of building off of fundamentals that he brought up. Very useful. They're very, he's a very, very, he was a very, very smart, very talented painter, very wise person. Always appreciate the Ross. Always appreciate the Ross. I'd say. I'd say appreciate the Ross. Again, I have never, ever, ever, ever really done anything quite like this. Certainly not mountains. I have never done mountains like this. That is for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It really looks quite nice now. I really like how it looks. I wished I knew how to do more of the foreground. I don't want to put anything in front of him, and I don't want to lose this. So I think what I want to do actually Oh shit. Oh, wait for this now. Going to do either going to erase or I'm going to add some white at the bottom. I have to decide that. Add a white. We're going to add a lighter color. Like, now, see how much this covers. Not bad. Not bad. Try to remove my fucking. Try to remove my goddamn stamp from this internet. You'd probably find a way. Probably just fucking select Photoshop it out or something. I know. I know there's ways. Trust me. I was even like, I think I know how to do that. Could I do more? Probably. Is this a good start for some stuff? Absolutely. Might be doing this more. We might be doing this more. If there's one thing I'd probably change, probably move the mountains a little bit more to the left. But like I would not be against putting a Bob Ross mountain in behind every single thing I do from now on, because that was fun to do. That was fun to make. That mountain was really fun to make. Um, I really enjoyed it. Uh, like I feel like there's still more I could add in the front probably, but all things considered, we're pretty much. I mean, like. Thinner. That then. The thing that's kind of incredible about it, right? Always remember that what he does, he's not being actually that random. He's being very deliberate. Being very deliberate where he puts certain kinds of marks. Not as random. And he's using the medium as a tool. He's using it as a tool to be able to make the object. He's making the object that he wants where he wants it. He's not just adding random shit. He's not. Really isn't. Or Mossman. Bit more dirt. And I would say, for having never done Bob Ross style kind of like piece like this, pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good. Again, I did not really do much of this stuff. I've never really done much of this kind of thing at all. Couple, couple. Remember, we're not adding grass, we're adding ferns. And the reason why is because grass did not exist in the Jurassic. Grass was not something that was real. So you don't want to draw grasses. This is a Jurassic dinosaur, and you want to draw plants that would have existed then. And there were no grasses, there were no flowering plants, there were no gymnosperms. Wait, no, they were all gymnosperms. There were no angiosperms. Remember my plants. Give them a little bit more love. Did I expect to do a Bob Ross painting today? Not necessarily, but the man has been on my mind, so I'm not surprised I ended up. Trying to think. Adding like a little bit. Again, a lot of his stuff is just building it all up together. About not adding a ton of stuff. And it's not about using just one thing for effect. There you have it, folks. Perspective's a little bit wonky. I think the if anything, what I should do now, take delete this. We're going to select multiple. And I might shrink it like this. More like this. Yeah. Anything has to do this. Okay, we do this, right? Keep this the same size. I don't think the size is wrong. I need to take everything, though. Select multi. It's closer. Oh no, but that's yeah, it's even worse. Hmm. You gonna try something. Hopefully it'll work. Oh, that's why. I was wondering. I was like, there we go. Pull him down slightly. Him there. Honestly, I don't think I need to do more than pull it down, probably just a little bit. Hey, thank you, Silas. This came out really good. No, no, no joke. This was a really, really fun piece to draw. This was a ton of fun to draw. I sound chuffed. Thank you. I actually don't remember what chuffed means. There we go. Weird that it like lowers the resolution of the text. But I feel like that's pretty good, honestly. That's one of my best works. Might let him closer. I didn't realize it was so far away. The thing I need to do more is I need to zoom in more. Seeing how that works. I mean, it works. It actually works. Hell yeah. That's so satisfying. That's so satisfying. I love that mountain in the background, even though it's kind of covered now. Like, it's there. That's what matters. Just a Bob Ross mountain looming in the background. All right, that's 3.5 hours. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, we're done. Done with this one. This one's finished. This is done. I have to now. I have to take what I learned from this one and apply it to the next one because that's kind of what I've been like going at. That's what I've been developing to a certain extent. A lot of this, especially with the dinosaur and with everything. Like I've just really want to continue to hone that and really start getting a level of rendering that is much more indicative of what I'm actually capable of. And this feels much better. This feels much closer. I'm gonna watch a lot more Bob Ross. Just based on this. I like need to. I mean, results speak for themselves. This looks really fun. This looks really, really good. It was a lot of fun to make. Honestly, it was a lot of fun to do the drawing. It was a lot of fun to actually do the background. Like I hated doing backgrounds, and this was a good challenge. And like I said, I was like, I'm watching him enough. I should see if I've internalized anything the man has told me. The answer is I've internalized something from him. I've internalized something from him. I don't know exactly how to feel about it, but I have internalized something from Bob Ross. You know what? That's a good thing. Credit to the man, though. Like, he has a certain amount of self restraint. Because I'm just like, I just going, but I need to stop. I need to stop. Because it will just keep going forever. It will keep going forever if I don't like stop here in a second. I keep trying to flesh out different things. Really easy to. One of the best, kindest. Call it done. You're right. You're right. One of the best things I've ever seen, which was on one of the YouTube. I've been watching him off YouTube because, of course, why wouldn't he be on there for everyone to enjoy? Um, Bob Ross didn't paint to show that he was good at painting. Bob Ross painted to show how good you could be at painting. That's honestly one of the kindest things I've ever heard about him. And yeah, yeah, it's true. I would absolutely wholeheartedly say that. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna open up Bing Create, which is an image generator. We're gonna make an image before we rate out. If you want to, you can participate. All you gotta do is type in chat, whatever chat says. You use it as a reference. I'll use it. You could use it as a reference, but I'll use it as a reference, and I'll share the image before we rate out. So, uh, getting a big hug from Lorin Hanoso Lorinosaurus. 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 The NH apparently sounds like a hun, so it's Lori Hananosaurus. Lori Hananosaurus. That is really hard for me to say as an English speaker who doesn't speak good English. Happy little treats. Getting a big hug from Lorihanosaurus as we paint in our happy little trees in the background. Getting a big hug from Lorihanosaurus from behind as we paint in our happy little trees in the background. I'm pretty happy with that. Happy with that. I'm going to do more backgrounds. I'm going to be watching the man, so I'm going to be doing more backgrounds, because it's good. It's good. It's good. Good. He's helped. He's helped me. He helped me. He helped me. He really did. So, let me get my hydrate, man. But, thank you for joining, everybody. See that image, stick around to the very end. We also do a bit of a closing bit. We do right after every stream, so that way the vampires in our chat can keep watching. Just everybody else out there, make sure to go lock your doors and windows. It's almost lunchtime for vampires. And thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to go back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following, or clicking any of the links below. There's a link to all the socials and the Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally you can come hang out with the rest of the community there. It's a good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community there and everyone who follows. You guys are a wonderful audience, and we appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just make sure to also hashtag with MCCanary. Or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you gotta let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream, and I encourage you guys to do it more. It does help us out. It's just super rad that you guys are willing to do that. And just generally, I'm just glad that we're doing things that you guys want to talk about. So go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream as well as take on more projects, and the stream would not be made possible without viewers like you, so we thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you could get, you could always subscribe directly on Twitch. Check out the Patreon page here. It'll show you everything that you can get, and any amounts is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. And thank you to mods who do a wonderful job holding back the robot army for them becoming famous. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Hope you had a good time. I enjoyed drawing that. I enjoyed the drawing. I enjoyed the painting. Good time. I have to do more of that. We'll get you through housekeeping and get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment here. That link tree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've done and they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff here, which has everything that I post to. So you should go check out everybody in Goblin Entertainment. And stick around. Let's go say hi to Misa. I feel like we haven't said hi to Misa in a while. Also share very wonderful painting, drawing thing I did. Glad that we were able to finish. And I'm glad that you guys were all able to come hang out. So everybody go say hi to her. She's a good gal. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening. Take it easy. Remember, not biting my head, just giving me big old puzzle. He's just giving me a big old ooh, ooh, eh, eh. I mean, oh no, it won't go. Do what'd you do? Broke, broke. Sorry. Oh, there it goes. Kind of understood. Those are it understood the happy little trees. I love the I love the portrait here. I love that. Like where how he's holding that. Looks like he's about to hit him in the back of the head with it.